Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Kaylee, and today, in honor of the new year, I figured why not do a little bit of a 2024 anime wrapped. I would consider 2024 the year that I started my anime journey, and I only say that because in 2023 I started One Piece, and I literally only watched One Piece for the entire year of 2023, just trying to catch up. Like, I was cranking out those episodes, but I didn't watch anything else outside of that, and that is a wild way to start your anime journey, so I don't recommend that to anybody if you're trying to get into it. So today I figured I would dive into all of the shows that I've watched this year, give a little bit of a rating, some thoughts, and then talk about what I'm currently watching, and then talk about my 2025 watch list and things that I'm on the lookout for and excited to see. I'm gonna do this by category because I think that's gonna be the easiest way to do it, and I'm gonna do it on a scale of like 5 stars. I will give a disclaimer. All of the shows that I watched this year really are kind of like the top recommended shows of their respective categories. So I don't have really any like 1 or 2 star shows. So I'll just say that up front. These are all very basic shows. Like, I don't think anything I am going to be talking about is very niche, but again, I'm very new to anime, so I wanted to start with some of the classics, some of the newer shows, and things that people were highly recommending so that I could get a taste for different types of shows. So I'm going to start with the shoujo category, which is a category of anime that I never thought I would be watching. Like, when I started, I was like, I don't know if I would like romance anime or slice of life. Like, I really thought that romance to me wouldn't be as appealing in 2D. I was very wrong, because now I just don't care about 3D romance. I only care about 2D romance, so it's now a problem. So first up is my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. So I actually loved this show. It is just too slow of a burn for me, and I felt like I didn't really understand Yamada's behavior. It just felt like he got around to really liking her very, very quickly, like at the end, and I wasn't really picking up any of those cues earlier on in the season. So if we get a season 2 of this show, maybe that'll help. And I also think maybe reading the manga will definitely help give some context to little things that he says or does that might indicate that he has feelings before he just kind of like decides he has feelings. I gave it a 3 star. I really like it. It's a show I would watch again. It's a show, if there's a season 2, I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely going to read the manga, but to me, it just feels like a 3 star. Like, it's just too slow of a burn for me, but I do love the characters. I love the storyline. I thought the side characters were really fun as well. Okay, next up is My Happy Marriage. I literally just finished the show, and I have to say I was so pleasantly surprised. When it starts, it feels like this very like low-key romance. She's very soft-spoken, and I won't lie, the first couple of episodes were really, really good. I was hoping that it would pick up pace later on in the season, which it definitely did. I loved the larger storyline with Mio's mom and her ancestry and her lineage and this internal power that she comes to own. And I thought the character development of Mio throughout the entire season was absolutely beautiful. I gave that one 4 stars. I'm definitely going to watch it again. I'm definitely going to watch season 2. Absolutely loved it. Next up is Horimiya. I really liked this show because I really loved the characters, not just Hori and Miyamura, but I loved all of the side characters as well. And sometimes I'm a person who just wants to get to the like main storyline of the show, and I just don't necessarily care about these side plots, but I actually loved every single little like side story and side romance that was happening throughout the show. The only thing I didn't quite love was that the first season was the story, right? Like, that was the bulk of the story, and then the second season was going back and filling you in on little moments that happened that you didn't see. So the timelines are essentially the same of season 1 and season 2, so the story isn't necessarily progressing in season 2. You're just seeing these like almost deleted scene type of moments. So it wasn't bad. I actually really loved it. I think the characters are so strong in that show that you just have to love them all, and so I gave that one 4 stars as well. Would definitely watch again. Next up is A Sign of Affection. Itsuomi is always going to be one of the top male characters to me. Truly a man written by a woman. Like, he is perfection. I have also read the manga, and there's so many good things in the manga past what the anime covered, so I am just like fingers crossed that eventually we will get more seasons of this show because it is so touching and beautiful. The only thing that I didn't love about the first season was that there was a stark lack of conflict. This show really had no true conflict. Like, there were small moments of conflict between Itsuomi and Yuki, between Oshi and Yuki, Oshi and Itsuomi, but you never actually have any conflict that lasts more than like an episode, which in a lot of ways is very nice and refreshing, and it makes this show feel like it's really rooted in like reality and how college students would have relationships and interact with each other. But in some ways it does kind of make the show feel a little bit monotonous at points. But again, really loved it. Hope we get more seasons of this show. Gave that one 4 stars. Next up, I just finished this one as well, Maid-sama. So I know it's an older show, but I had to watch it. And at first I didn't have a ton of interest in watching it just because the general premise didn't sound appealing to me. And I will say there are some very outdated tropes and plot points in Maid-sama, but overall, this has got to be one of my favorite shows. It was so good. It was so funny. Usui is top 3 male characters for me right now. And just the idea that for 26 episodes, he knew that he wanted that girl, was in love with her, and like did anything to get her. I loved that show. I know that a lot of people find Usui to be a red flag or find the show to be very problematic, I guess, especially in 2024. I went into that knowing how old the show was, and I still loved it. Like, I still think it's a really good show. I still love Usui. I don't know, like, that is a show I will probably watch over and over and over again. So I gave Maid-sama 5 stars. And now for my top shoujo of the year, Kami-sama Kiss. I have no words for this show. I watched this show so quickly. I binged it. And then the OVAs as well. Chef's Kiss. I was captivated from beginning to end. The characters are incredible. I cannot get enough of Tomoe. The only thing that I will criticize about the show is that I think the content from the OVAs, specifically like the time travel loop and everything that brings Tomoe and Nanami together, I feel like that should have been part of the main show. I just needed more. And so the OVAs were everything I could have ever asked for. It was perfect storytelling. It was perfect ending. It was just, I loved it. I just wish it was part of the main show. It's nearly impossible to find these OVAs, but mainly I feel like we could have just gotten another season out of that show to tell that story in full. However, that doesn't take away from how incredible this show was and what a special place it has to me now. So I gave that one 5 stars plus 1. That's my like special little rating for when a show truly changes my life. Like it's gonna get plus 1. Now on to shonen, and I can already feel that this is gonna be this is not gonna be a good one for me. Okay, I'm gonna start with Jujutsu Kaisen. What I will say about Jujutsu Kaisen is that the characters are some of the most well-developed characters in any show I've ever watched, anime or not. They're very likable characters. They have very unique personalities. They like suck you into the show. Sadasugu is like half of my brain at any point in time. I just didn't think the story was that good. I watched the show and I feel like at the end of it I couldn't tell you anything about the plot. I also didn't like how it didn't feel like any of the more complex information with like the power system and cursed energy and cursed techniques, it just didn't feel like any of that info was delivered to the audience in context, right? Or in a way that felt natural to the storyline. It felt like we were constantly getting like these long monologue dumps of information, which were impossible to process in the moment unless you're like literally pausing the show and taking notes. And I just feel like that's a common thread of like people who've watched this show who just really don't necessarily understand what's happening. The animation is amazing. The characters are 10 out of 10, but it's fine. I don't think it's the best show ever. I definitely don't think it's the best show that I've watched. This is dangerous, but I gave it 3 stars. But I'm not gonna go back and watch Jujutsu Kaisen again. I will watch season 3 and I will like watch anything new that comes out. It's just not top for me. The other 3 shonens are pretty classic. So Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, perfection from start to finish. Truly, like, the storyline is complex enough to where you stay very interested, but it's not so overly complex like a Jujutsu Kaisen where they're able to deliver the information within the context of the story and it feels really natural to what's happening and it's easy to understand. So I never felt confused. Like, yes, there were plot twists and there were cliffhangers and there were things that you learned as information was given to you, but I never felt like utterly confused about what was happening. Another show where there are so many really valuable characters and obviously like written by a woman. I love this show. I think if you're newer to anime, this is a perfect one to start with because again, very easy to follow, but a complex story that has really great twists, a fantastic ending, like as good of an end as you could really hope for. I feel like everything I wanted to happen at the end of the show happened. So I gave Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood 5 stars. Obviously. Next up is Death Note. This show is so good. Now the one critique I have of Death Note is that I could have used more L. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. L was everything. L made the show. The dynamic between Light and L, it just was perfection. I also think from like a mystery type of show, this one is so high for me. Even outside of anime, like this is one of the best cases of mystery storytelling in my mind. So just another 5-star show. And my last top rated shonen is One Piece, and I'm putting this on the 2024 Wrapped because I did catch up to the anime this year and I watched a lot of episodes that came out this year in real time. So I thought all of the episodes this year were really well done. Obviously there were a lot of like high budget episodes put out this year with very major plot points. So we got a lot of good content on the One Piece front this year. Moving on to seinen. I watched 2 seinen shows this year. The first one is Yakuza Fiance. It just ended, so I just completed the first season. I am also caught up to the manga. I love this story. I think from a female character point of view, Yoshino is probably one of my favorites. Like she's just so interesting and very different from a lot of the female characters that are featured in anime, and so I love her. When she matches Kirishima's crazy, nothing is better. Those two together, I'm obsessed. I am so excited for more of this show. We better be getting more seasons of this show. I need it, especially everything we haven't seen yet. Knowing how the story develops down the line, I need more of this show. So I gave it 4 stars and I love everything about it. To me, it doesn't feel like a 5-star show. It feels like a 4-star show, but it's an excellent show. So I don't know how to explain that. That's just how my heart feels. And my top seinen of the year and my top show of the year, which is why we finished off in this category, Tokyo Ghoul. 5 stars plus 1. This show altered my brain chemistry. Like when I tell you I have not stopped thinking about it since I watched it, no exaggeration. This is my favorite show. This is my favorite one. Now we're not going to talk about season 3, but oh my god, it is so good. And my favorite character of all time is now Ken Kaneki, so I'm currently rewatching it just for funsies. Yeah, this show fundamentally changed me. So that is my top show of 2024, and that was my anime wrapped of 2024. So now on to what I'm currently watching. If you've been here before to my channel, you know that I'm currently watching Fruits Basket, Dawn to Dawn, and Attack on Titan and doing reaction videos here on my channel. Aside from that, I just started Bleach, so I'm excited to get deeper into that. I've watched 2 episodes, so I'm not that far. I'm also halfway through My Dress Up Darling, which I'm actually really liking so far. I don't know, like I didn't know what to expect from it, but I actually do love it, so I'm excited to finish that as well. There's so much happening in the anime space in 2025, so I've put together a little bit of a watch list that just have some shows and seasons that I'm really excited for. My Happy Marriage season 2, like I said, I'm so excited for this, especially because I just watched season 1. It's going to feel so fresh and like right in the front of my mind going into season 2, so I'm super excited for that. Apothecary Diaries, I do want to binge season 1 before season 2 comes out, which I have a handful of days, so I'm gonna try. I also want to get into Solo Leveling. I also am excited for Sakamoto Days and Honey Lemon Soda. Those are some of the ones on my radar, and then obviously eventually we'll get Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 presumably. If there are animes that are just not yet on my radar or that you're really excited about, go ahead and drop them in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. If you want to stick around and see some of my reaction videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I put all of my unedited and uncut reactions over on Patreon, so that link will be in the description box below. But otherwise, have a happy new year, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.